Ellen White Reconsidered, a series of presentations for people who have questions about Ellen White's writings. Today, our subject will be the strongest and most effective critique. Welcome. Today, we want to talk about how to make critiques more effective. Yeah, it's something a friend of mine called being the critic's advocate. When you look at some materials that are available on Ellen White and go through the videos, you'll discover that a whole lot of them are positive. They tell a story, they read through some passages that are inspiring, they explore some doctrine or some last day events application. Lots of good things. I've been enjoying some of them myself. And I noticed that within the cracks, there are certain people, we call them critics because they're not positive on Ellen White, and that present lots and lots of videos over and over again. And I can't get to all of them and respond to everything. And I suppose there's a certain group of people that enjoy hearing the critical things. And what can you do for that? But for people who want a positive side, well, it takes some time to research things and to do a good job of it. And I think that's where I see something lacking in some of the materials that are critiquing her. So I want to offer my suggestions. The key idea is this: if you present an idea about Ellen White, something that you think that she didn't do right or that she didn't teach correctly or that was not consistent in her life or something that you want to pick a flaw with, you really need to do your research. You really need to be careful and to do it in such a way that somebody like myself, somebody who's read quite a bit of her writings, somebody who has become acquainted with her over a period of years and not just hearing about her recently, but somebody like me can look at it and say, they're telling the truth. They're telling the truth. That's fair. That's fair. You know, we all know that we have flaws of some sort. And if somebody is caring, somebody presents a message because they really do care about you, they don't bang you over the head, but they break the news to you as gently as they can and as fairly as they can, looking at both sides of a matter, then you're more effective. And that's the measure of what I like to do when I present things. A few years ago, when I was writing White Lies Soap, I corresponded with each person that I was responding to. There were people who had published their materials online, there were people that had published books. And each one of those individuals I would contact, and we went back and forth until they said, "You have properly phrased our arguments. You are not misquoting us or misusing our materials." And that's where you have to be. Now, if your presentation is one that you get responses from critiques of people who are knowledgeable, people who have published materials, people who have presented on the subject, people who have degrees in the study, and you present those things to the public, you present your point of view, and you get feedback from those individuals, and you have to clamp down on the questions and the observations that those knowledgeable people are making, then your case is not very strong. Recently, that happened to me. I responded to a video and I could see my statements, and I put a little notice up on my channel for other people to go and look at those responses to the video. And they say, "We don't see it." Now, I hope it's just a flaw of YouTube, but it doesn't seem like that's the way that YouTube acts, just to disappear people's comments. I've noticed that it does happen if I try to link it to another video or I try to link it to some source the off of YouTube, that it'll erase those kinds of things. And so I've tried to be careful about that so that it's just comments. Maybe it's some kind of an algorithm that says if you make too many comments, they're going to shadow ban you. Maybe that's what happened. But if you can't respond to the more knowledgeable respondees or responders, then there's something about your case that's not so strong. So I'd like to recommend that those that make critical videos take into account the most knowledgeable person on the subject. Ask them, am I framing your arguments correctly? And if you are not, then you are not being fair or even honest with the subject. Well, that's my 2 cents for today. Take it or leave it, folks. But I want you to be effective. And if there's something that we do need to face as Seventh day Adventists or supporters of Ellen White, we want you to be fair with us. All right. Well, God bless you. Thanks for stopping in.